Yep.
Now, what I want to talk about, what issues do you run into after you hit that $1 million mark? I'm going to tell you what we ran into.
Please. Yeah, please do.
Personally, one of the things we ran into is one of the things you ran into, which is closing the leads. We were getting so many leads that we couldn't catch up with it. So me and my wife, and we're doing service at the same time. So what we had to do, okay, we're going to have our first hire, which is a service rep. So that way me and my wife can only concentrate on closing those deals.
Yep.
So that's one thing that we ran into right away at the $1 million mark. You don't get service until after that first year.
Yeah.
So the first year you can really keep selling, right?
Yeah.
Second year is when you start getting into service. So you have to start implementing not only a service person, but probably you should at the 1 year mark, probably before you start your agency, you probably should already had a CRM system to help you with the leads, to help you with that lead flow, right?
100%. Yep.
So that's one of the things that was a bottleneck in my first 1 million was because we created a good lead generating system that we had a bottleneck where we couldn't handle all the leads after that. So to get to 1 to 3 million, we had to start developing systems and processes. Do you want to talk about some systems processes that you implemented in your agency that really helped?
Yeah. I mean, so I have this big belief, and I learned this from one of my agents that I worked for. And, she told me that for every million in business that we do, you need a service person. So for me, our service team really isn't here in our office, is we have virtual assistants. So that's one of the main systems, or really the people that we brought in together to kind of do things that we don't want to do, like mortgagee changes, call the mortgagee companies, handle the underwriting stuff that comes in, the payment stuff, all that good stuff that comes in. When you're writing, $1 million to $2 million a year in production, it's gonna start catching up to you. So one of the first main systems that we created that was a success was building a team of virtual assistants or VAs to kind of take care of all the stuff that we didn't want to do. So I mean, what do you think? What did you do when it came to like you kind of growing that quick?
So other than the CRM, which really helped a lot, we also had to have systems and processes with the leads, how to handle it. And we created what we call, I was in the military. So in the military, we create these things called SOPs, right?
SOPs,
which are standard operating procedures, basically making everything dummy proof, where someone can read something step by step and have the same end result as everyone else.
Yep.
So we had to, in order to start duplicating yourself, multiplying yourself, everyone should sound like you, should say the same things as you. So in order to do that, your agency is going to have some kind of standard operating procedures. You might not call them that, but you should have SOPs for everything that you pretty much do in your agency, from sales all the way to the service side.
Right. Exactly.
So that's some of the things. And obviously, manpower. We have to increase service. Like you said, ours doesn't work exactly like for every 1 million we have a service rep, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So we also implemented VAs. The reason we did that was because, first of all, it was very difficult to find local talent in my area.
It's the hardest thing right now.
And it's still very difficult. So VAs tend to, work a lot harder, actually, and for a lot less pay. So we found that really valuable to our agency. And also they were really quick to learn your systems and processes versus somebody that came from another agency that was already doing something a certain way. It was very difficult to change how they did things, right?
Yes,
so the VAs were really, really good at that. So that's one of the things that we had to change going from 1 to 3. And also one thing I had to change was I had to remove myself as an actual salesperson, replace myself with another salesperson so that I can handle the big picture stuff like marketing, like the referral partnerships that we were working with. I had to take myself out to get to that $3 million mark. Can you get there still being the salesperson? Yes, you can. But in order to scale eventually higher, I don't think you can. Eventually, you're going to have to take yourself out of that because you're going to be capped, or you're going to be the bottleneck.
Oh yeah, you're for sure. I mean, I remember when you kind of pushed me, and I say that you pushed me because you really did, because I didn't want to give away, or I didn't want to get somebody else in the agency doing the things that I was doing, because I didn't want to get replaced. I think that was the biggest like reason behind it, but it was more because it was like I do certain things a certain way, and you're right, I got capped. So the highest premium that I ever wrote by myself was about 127,000 in premium. But that's, I mean, I was working from 6 o'clock in the morning to like 1 o'clock in the morning. Remember the videos that I was doing at getting out of the office at 2 o'clock in the morning? Like, and I would put out to people. I'm like, it was the truth, but I was working my ass off. Then all of a sudden, fast forward, 12 months, and we have 3 salespeople. And now instead of doing 100,000 in premium, dude, we're literally doing, at that point, it was the highest amount that we ever hit. It was like 230, 240 on a monthly basis. And we hit 2 months in a row that we hit 300,000 in premium. And that was like, holy shit, we can actually do this. And now we're still anywhere between 140 to 210,000 in premium on a monthly basis. So, but you're right. It was, the bottleneck was definitely expanding.
So how does your agency look like right now? Because I know now, I can look at my numbers and I can see if I got this many leads, this is how much we're going to produce.
Yes.
So if we're not producing the amount of production, premium that we want that month, I go look at how many leads do we get, and if that number is low, the production is low, it's like, okay, did we get enough leads for our sales guys to close? If the answer is yes, then my sales guys, there's something wrong as far as the closing ratio. Why didn't we not close? And we can have that discussion with the salespeople. Yeah. Maybe rates went up for certain carriers, blah, 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 blah. But if the answer is, we didn't get enough leads, and maybe we need to work on getting more referral partners, maybe we need to up our marketing in certain avenues to bring in more leads.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you numbers. Like I told you, I'm a numbers guy. So like when you say, what does it take, and what numbers do we look at now? And I will tell you, for me now, it's if the office is doing 140 to 160 quotes on a 30-day swing, I know we're going to write over 130,000 in premium.
Consistently, right?
Consistently, right?
So it becomes more consistent, like predictable, right?
Yep.
Once you have a lot of these systems in place,
the number
more predictable.
Yeah, the number that I like seeing is when we're at 210 and above in quotes on a 30-day swing. If we do 210, I know that we're doing 200,000 in premium easily. Yep. The month that we really did huge was because we did a lot of auto stuff, and there was just a lot of multi-lining. But when we talk about premium, I don't count renewals, I don't count rewrites. None of that goes into brand new premium that we count for new business. New business is brand new business that's never been in the office at all whatsoever.